Checkity check, check.
Did you say the stream was going to start in 5 seconds, or has it already started?
It's already started.
You went live without me?
No, I didn't go live without you. It's not personal.
Oh, you went live without me.
You shut your mouth.
I know what's going on here. It's a hostile takeover. It's a coup, isn't it?
Coop.
A coup.
That's funny. Yes, this is a coup. Coup successful. I done coop de tatted your ass.
Oh, yeah. A coup de grace.
What the F?
Come on, let's get this show on the road.
Shut your mouth.
Show on the road.
What if I can get a new URL for this shit?
Nope. Show can't.
Okay, well, just gotta copy a few things, y'all.
Copy that shit. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
We got to get our copy on.
Hashtag world.
Hurry it up. Do a sloppy copy.
I'm not doing sloppy copy.
Come on, man. Everyone on YouTube is waiting.
Shut up. I got to make our Facebook page or post.
You know there's like 4,000 people watching this right now, don't you?
Yeah.
That was maybe a bit of an over-exaggeration.
Do your share.
Oh, yeah, you got the share on. As soon as we share this, people, we are going to get it on. Wait, what?
Let's get it on.
For the record, we won't be getting it on. On YouTube or any other network.
This is not that kind of show, you perverts.
We weren't talking about that kind of get it on.
JB, if you're out there, heads up.
Jay.
Or,
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'll
My
wait to
head's
do that
up.
on the show.
yeah, well, maybe they're coming to get you, JB. I'm not saying either way.
All right.
All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready. You ready? You ready?
Born ready.
Like Jason Bourne? Oh, man, that's such a great movie.
Is it?
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. I want to see
I didn't
the
like
new
the
ones
Bourne
so
movies
bad.
either.
I loved them. I loved them. They were great.
This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
You hear that?
That was a UFO beaming back at you. No, they've been coming here ever since 1946, and they have been living and working among us in vast quantities ever since. The government knows all about them. These leaders have decided to repress this information because of the tremendous shock that it would cause to our antiquated system.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. Brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
The whole truth about JFK, 9/11, Area 51, the Illuminati, the moon landings, Jesus,
I don't know about the whole truth.
CIA, KGB, and AIDS, the
Some of the
reptilian
truth.
elite,
And
Watergate,
AIDS.
the New World Order, Bilderberg,
AIDS,
the
too?
MK Ultra Project, the
Fucking
history of the world,
HIV.
and the oppression of the human consciousness, and the truth about God, the
Truth
devil,
about that, we just asked
heaven,
Magic Johnson.
hell, the delicate fabric of the universe.
You gotta say, I am as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
And Brian. And here we are. Welcome back to part 2 this week of
It's
Surreal
war.
Talk. It is World War, yeah.
World War III.
World War III. Yeah, we're going to skip the usual intro this week, and I'm going to go right on into
We're just gonna skip it.
Yeah, we're just gonna skip it. They know it. I'll do the outro. I mean, it's,
Make a pimp decision, I guess. Huh?
yeah, it'd be all right, man. When you're a pimp, you make pimp decisions. So we're gonna skip all that. I got a couple things I want to say though. One, I want to give a shout out to my fellow co-conspirator JB. He thanks for having a good couple-hour conversation with me this morning. Get me in the mood for World War III.
Thanks, JB.
Kind of got me pumped. He's a great listener and a follower of the show. And also, for everyone that knows the date, which I hope is pretty close to everyone, we're coming right up on 9/11. And if you listen to our show and you know me, that's like my bread and butter. So
Don't say that.
well, we're planning a big 9/11 show.
You're putting the bar pretty high.
9/11 gets his rocks.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
We're planning a big 9/11 show. So stay tuned because that one's going to be a doozy.
I'm just saying,
And-
keep expectations.
And I might be going out on a limb here, but I'm going to hope that Everett has the Skype call-in set up by then so that if you don't agree...
You want to have Skype stuff set up?
I would like to have Skype stuff set
Fine,
up for
we'll
the
have it going.
9/11 show.
We'll have it going.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7-parter. Should be good. Hate to drag on about it, but I'm excited. So keep an eye out.
We'll take Skype on our...
We're about a little under a month away from that. But we are back now with part 2 of World War III.
That's weird. World War III Part D.
World War III part 2. Sounds like a movie.
World War IV? Just saying.
World War 2.5. 3.5.
3.5, yeah.
3.5.
So I guess what we're going to talk about the second half here was like the aftermath of potential World War III scenarios.
But before we get to the aftermath, we would have to know what caused it.
All right. Well, like for a nuclear aftermath, a biological aftermath, alien invasion aftermath, So I guess let's start with nuclear. What's the aftermath of nuke?
Oh, man.
If you're lucky, you don't live in a
Death.
populated area.
Death. I don't know. I don't think anybody's really ever,
Let's think about it like this. Logically, if a nuclear strike happens, is it complete like checkerboard destruction of the entire country, or do they hit the population centers?
Well,
They got 7,300 nukes. Are they using them all? If we were talking to Russia,
I'm sure each designated
Oh, I hope not.
country would have it. They've all got their targets,
Shit.
I'm sure.
so there's going to be
There's
places,
probably a plan.
yeah.
well, there's likely places inside, or at least our country, because that's the only point of view I know how to take, honestly. Where you're going to be safe. Maybe like Wyoming. Well, there's a lot of silos in Wyoming, so that's probably okay. Say someplace Oklahoma. We'll
Utah.
say there's Oklahoma that's safe. Yeah, Utah.
Grand Canyons.
Someplace safe. What's it still look like? Does nuclear fallout get that far? Maybe from L.A. I don't know. Depends on the type of weapons.
I don't know, but if you've got 7,300 missiles, I'm pretty sure you're going to do a good enough spread on the whole U.S.
you think they're going to shoot them all?
No, but I'm saying if they did, they could.
7,300, you could blanket the world, though.
And you also got to figure
Bunch, man.
what happens when a nuke gets shot off is they'll shoot it off, and then the other side will come up and blast it. The other side will come up and blast it, and then in return they'll shoot off their own,
Right.
in hopes that this country doesn't blast that. So what you got is nukes going off in the air, and whenever it's airborne, we know it can spread.
That's
real-
the most.
real
That's the most
quickly.
efficient delivery system for a
Right.
nuclear bomb is to detonate it something like 2,000 meters above the surface or something.
I think that's what they did for Nagasaki. And
but
Hiroshima.
but that's because that's the most
Right, well, they
efficient.
create the air, like what do they call it, the air, like a
It
pressure
blankets
wave.
down instead of most of the ground will absorb most of the the boom.
Yeah, the
but
pressure
instead
wave.
when they hit it up here, it's like it like blankets out, spreads that devastation out more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that's the most efficient way to do it.
We're not scientists, but from
I've
the movies
I've only
seen-
dropped 1 or 2 nukes myself, so
Really, that's it.
yeah, one was yesterday in the bathroom. Oh,
I remember having to cut open a frog in science class, and that's about
As close
it.
as you get to science.
That's
I'm
yeah.
married to a scientist. That helps.
That would help. Yeah.
So I mean, she's not a nuclear scientist by any stretch of the imagination.
Rocket?
I mean, I've done a little
She's not-
research.
she's
not-
I've looked into
She
it.
does no rocket science.
Neuro?
I've dabbled on fusion.
chemistry.
No. Anyway, what does it look like after nuclear? So it's going to look like a lot like, in my opinion, Mad Max had it close. You know what I mean? It's just going to be more or less the desert wasteland. There's going to be nomadic tribes of people and a few.
But you're talking about
Outposts.
after the
For those-
fallout, though.
for those
right?
30
You're gonna
plus-
have-
That's true. I
You
guess
gotta
Mad Max
chill. You gotta chill first. They gotta have a bunker.
The California Love video with Dr. Dre, Tupac.
Oh, Lord.
Oh yeah, that
for everybody 30 up,
that's
it's
just
that's
like
the
Mad
lookalike.
Max. That's just
Yes.
like Mad Max. Yeah,
I mean, that took place inside the Thunderdome, not the video.
exactly. Yeah, it sure did.
Two men enter, and they were
One-
Tupac and
yeah,
Dre.
and Dr. Dre. And both men left. Wow.
we don't know. Tupac
wow.
hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, but so like I think you'd need a bunker, man, stand your ground. And I read that.
Well, obviously, if you're gonna have if it's a nuclear scenario, you want to have a bunker. You don't want to have a treehouse.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, treehouse isn't gonna.
You don't want to have like a double wide.
No, what you want to do is you want to stock up on some iodine pills.
Would you want to be airborne in a plane?
To be above it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it,
Depends. I mean, do you still get the EMP? If you're in a plane, that's not good.
Oh yeah, no, you're toast.
But the Enola Gay who dropped the the first bomb, I don't know that they were electromagnetically shielded. I do know though that when you drop a bomb, there's this crazy maneuver they do where they take like a really hard upswing and they drop the bomb like whenever they're like what's the opposite of dive in an airplane?
Climb.
I guess they're climbing up real hard and they kind of throw the bomb out and like backflip over to get away from it. So they got the most amount of time to avoid the explosion.
Really?
It's a whole thing. Yeah. Look at
That's kind of crazy to be a bomb
do
deliverer.
you want to drop it right out from under you and you can just go, or do you want to kind of get into a banking turn and throw that sumbitch out and keep going?
I mean, probably it's the fairest way. But so I read a couple things on
It's like throwing a
bunkers.
piece of dynamite out your truck window. You know what I mean? You don't want to just drop it out the window. You want to throw that shit.
Yeah, get it as far away from you as you can. So to survive the fallout from a 50 kiloton nuclear warhead, you'd need a bunker, and you would need a bare minimum of 36 inches of soil above your bunker, and that's like loose soil. That's not now. It's ideally you need to be 10 feet down, packed in.
Concrete and lead.
Yeah, but so they said from the point of impact, 2 miles is a safe zone from a 50 kiloton warhead. 5 miles is better, but 2 miles is safe.
50 kilotons is basically what they used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yes,
like
right around there. Yeah.
I mean, apples and oranges probably, but whatever. It's close enough. That's a small bomb, honestly.
I mean, yeah, but is it?
When you think about bombs that they call megaton bombs in the
Yeah,
megaton range.
Yeah, but what about when you think about like suicide bombs, bombers? Car bombs, IEDs.
Sure, those are standard explosives though. Like your
It's a bomb.
Yeah, but it's not a nuclear bomb. So
Well,
whenever
no.
we talk about a kiloton, you know what a kiloton is? A kiloton is what is equal to 1,000 tons of conventional explosives.
1,000 tons of TNT
Right. So
would equal 1 kiloton.
Right. So they've dropped down 50,000 tons of TNT basically in that one bomb.
Yeah.
So times that by 20, and then you've got a megaton.
So what? Fuck, that's a lot.
Yeah, you can't even do math that high.
No, not right now. I don't want to.
Yeah. Let's just say it's a shit ton.
okay, it's a shit
It's
ton.
a megaton. That's what
So
it
you
is.
drop a
It's
shit
megaton.
ton.
1 metric fuck ton. Yes, I'm aware with that measurement. I got that.
I mean, we've got enough cities here in the states that they can plan it out. Miami, L.A., Chicago, New York, Boston, Oklahoma City, and hit all of them with the intercontinental ballistic missiles that we have on the market today. Put a nuclear warhead on them, boom, it's done. So what you're saying is you need 36 inches of topsoil.
above your bunker,
So-
above a secure sealed bunker.
In theory,
with an air recirculation unit.
We're right outside of St. Louis, so if they were to aim one of these at the Edward Jones Dome,
Which wouldn't be a bad idea to hit St. Louis. We've got Olin, which makes bullets here.
we don't want to tell them what.
We've got all of the. We're not giving them any ideas. We've got all the oil refineries around here. We're
Right.
a major shipping lane. With
Yeah, the Mississippi
River.
River. There's all barges that come and
So
travel
it's
goods
not like
back
it's
up and down the Mississippi.
Too hard to think that St. Louis would be a target.
No, this is actually. I mean, it is
McDonnell Douglas, Boeing in St. Louis making fighter jets. That's a very decent target if you know what I'm saying. That's
Yeah, we also have Pfizer
Think
here.
about not
That's
just
headquarters.
just what's here.
Monsanto.
Think about what this represents if they're able to get a bomb somewhere this deep into America. This is the middle of America.
this-
if you
right.
can blow up St. Louis, you can get anywhere.
All right, so let's
pretty
say.
much. Yeah, there's another.
So what you're saying
no
is,
reach you can't have.
That's
if they hit
terrorism
the
right
Edward, if they hit the Edward Jones Dome, let's just say, just across the river here at my house, I need to have a bunker under my backyard.
For the fallout.
For the fallout.
Yeah, for the explosion, you'd probably
The
be okay. 'cause like you
explosion,
said
you're-
5 miles, you're going to be good. But, and that's what, roughly 10,
If it's a
11,
50
12.
kiloton. What
If it's a 50
500
kiloton.
kiloton.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what if. I haven't,
Then we're talking
This is for 50
knocking
kiloton.
out from St. Louis to Chicago in one swipe.
I mean, huge.
You
Like,
know?
what if they drop one that takes out the whole? Yeah, what if anything?
Yeah,
right?
what
So-
ifs, you know?
What you're saying is I need 36 inches of topsoil on top of my bunker if it's
Yeah.
in my backyard and they drop one over there.
And that's just to
That's what he's
keep the
saying.
radiation out. Yeah, that's just to keep the radiation out.
What about to keep the people who didn't have a bunker and who were all ate up from the radiation coming into your bunker?
Tactical shotgun.
Tactical shotgun. That's
Yes.
a good idea.
Yes.
Would you consider them to be wasteland mutants, or just
No, just fucked up humans that
Had a bad day.
need a good slug to the head.
Kind of looking like Freddy, I would assume.
So what kind of loss of life
have a little Kruger-ish to him.
from the two nukes that have been dropped previously, Nagasaki and Hiroshima? What was the loss of life like there? I mean,
I think it was 100,000
Yeah,
in Hiroshima.
this was something we didn't talk about, and I really wanted to. But I thought it was a total of like 400K, and I could be wrong, but I really
I'm
kind
gonna
of thought
look.
that was where we were at
and
with a total loss of life.
again, remind me, how big is Japan compared to what?
What do you
Oh,
mean?
gosh,
How big is
that's
Japan? Like square mileage or
Yeah.
The size of
population?
what, Florida?
What, maybe
A little
Florida?
bit bigger?
I was thinking
It's bigger than that. Well, let's do one thing at a time here.
Florida, Georgia.
So the total
I couldn't imagine
casualties-
it being bigger than that.
The total casualties. Okay, I'm looking at atomicarchive.com right here. They're saying the pre-raid population of Hiroshima was 255,000.
Okay.
66,000 killed.
Jeez.
69,000 injured by whatever means from either building collapse.
Oh, fuck,
burns.
it's almost 140K right
It's
there.
135,000 total casualties.
That's a big number. Huge
Nagasaki pre-raid population 195,000. Dead 39,000, injured 25,000, total 64,000 casualties.
So 64,000 plus the original.
It's 135. It's 199,000 casualties from
So
those two.
so 200,000 deaths from those two
No,
bombs alone.
casualties.
And that's what happens whenever you
Deaths
dive
would
bomb a
be-
U.S. base.
107,000.
Okay, yeah, that's that's what happens when you dive bomb a U.S. base. No shit, right?
You know?
Well, you got me there.
Yeah.
That's the Will Smith philosophy of don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Well, and that's
Welcome
what we
home.
do. And last episode we talked Article 5, and that's pretty much what that's what it's about.
you attack me, you attack my family.
Right, you know that
Don't
my whole
start
family's
no
coming.
stuff, won't be no stuff. Oh yeah.
So,
Don't start no stuff. Hey, you're a funny guy. Funny guy. What do you
funny
mean?
like
how much air would you have
you mean
inside
funny?
your bunker?
Funny
I
like
mean, how long does
Obviously,
you gotta
something
have
like
a
that just
I mean, this
recirculation.
isn't
linger,
really a
you have
prepping
to.
episode like we did a Doomsday Prep.
Right.
So you're going to have like a air scrubber and clean.
You
the
ha-
system.
Well, I
you
mean,
have
what would
to.
you think off the top of your head if a nuke hit? How long do you think you'd have to stay hidden?
Yeah, I mean, what's the
How close
radiation?
you are and how.
And now, yeah, it
what
does. There's a
bomb
lot
it
of
was.
variables that are involved
Now,
in that.
now let me ask you this. Let's just say
Lot
it's
of ends on the outs,
let's
on
say
the
it's let's say it's 3 months. It's 6 months. Okay, let's just say it's
Be
6 months.
10 years. I
Have
mean,
you ever been locked
as
in
long
a place?
as you can have.
Have you ever been locked in a place for 6 months?
No.
Like a
Anybody who's
bunker?
prepping
That would be horrible.
would be horrible. Anybody who's prepping, they're prepping for as long as they can afford to prep for, and they've
Yeah.
got the ability to judge whether or not it's safe to come out.
Yeah, prepping, like we've talked about before, is all about how much money you got and how devoted
Yeah,
you
I
are.
mean,
Because
you're-
those people, that's
prepping
life.
as long as you-
That's life. People, that's a life.
They're
to
not
them.
prepping for only 10 years because they only believe 10 years is all they need. If they can afford 20 years, they're prepping for 20 years.
If they can afford sustain life completely off grid, yeah, that's what they're doing.
Now we're talking nuke prepper. You know, people
Yeah, what
preparing
if it's
for
biological?
or an invasion.
Well,
You know,
let's hit
I mean-
biological first, though. Say, what type of biological weapon? Smallpox or some sort of anthrax? You can't-
What's prevalent in the news right now? We got Zika,
Zika.
Ebola. I mean, there's all kinds of biological weapons that are out
So
right now.
again, you need a bunker, and it doesn't have to be Sim. Our good friend says, "What if it's a flood?" We'll get to that too, Sim. What if it's like even biblical flood that causes the apocalypse? But that wouldn't be a World War III. based
Global warming,
Right,
melting
fair
all the
enough.
ice, rising all
yeah,
the
but
waters.
that's not World War III. It's again.
Yeah, I mean,
could lead there. I mean, but we're stretching. We're reaching on that. Could lead there.
yeah. But anyway,
overall,
where were we? God damn it!
biological, Zika, Ebola, smallpox,
So
polio,
you need a place to hide out, basically.
lead poisoning.
lead poisoning.
Lead
In my
poisoning.
opinion, you find a place where the people who've also lived aren't going to be able to easily find you because you're going to have resources.
Oh, it's definitely going to be important to stay hidden.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what the type is, stay hidden for a while until you're sure what the situation is,
Yeah. Well, the loss of life on biological warfare. I mean, depending on.
the type of biological
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, what I remember I had a number in my head from one of our previous episodes. The Spanish flu of 1918 killed like 2% of the entire world's population.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So that's gnarly as shit. Yeah. That's more than pretty crazy. That's 2% of the world. Gosh, you know what? If the global elites nowadays could figure out some sort of way to amp that up, they would be 2%, like 45 times 45%, and we're there.
Look at this.
90% of the world population. Depopulation done.
Look at
Boom.
as my friend John McCarthy would say. Look at Russia's got enough smallpox if they wanted to outfit as many drones as they wanted and put it over the entire world. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. It's easy enough to do.
Right.
You get your hands on enough of it, cultures of it, put it out there. That's all I'm saying. It's easy enough to do.
And that'd be devastating loss of life.
Sure would.
Ooh, man, an invasion.
Yeah, that's the Red Dawn scenario.
Yeah, what do you think about an invasion, Brian? They're coming after you.
How does that happen?
How does that happen?
You got to take out the government somehow for them. Like, you got to take out our navies, our ability to defend ourselves, to the point where we don't have planes.
There's only one plausible scenario for our country to be invaded, and that would be
Albert. Well, if we bring them in, in and we implode.
I was thinking Civil War. I was thinking Civil War. Okay, we're broke up enough. We're divided enough to where we can't defend ourselves.
So you're like we saying they're our allies. Well, the West's ally or the East ally. Like we need the Chinese to fight the East. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but once
they're here,
once your agenda is better served by taking over that power instead of being its ally, then that's what you do as a superpower. You know what I mean?
I think as far as the invasion, if we go into a civil war in this country, no matter what you may theorize it may be, okay, if we have a civil war in this country and there's two groups, that's just saying there's two.
Fair
we don't
enough.
know if there could be 3 factions or 4, but let's just say there's 2 factions. While we're fighting amongst ourselves, who's there to stop Saudi from getting raided and taken over? Who's there to help stop Israel? Who's there to help stop? Who's there to back NATO? I mean, let's keep it real. We are the forces behind NATO, military wise. We are the security agents for the rest of the world.
Sure.
So whenever we are having problems here back at home and we're not being security guards for the rest of the countries.
So what you're saying is we're poking our nose in where it shouldn't belong way too much.
Oh, that's all the time, every day.
See, and that's the way we are. We got our culture that says this is the way you should live. This is the rights people should have. And when you look around the world, you see what we consider people to be bullying their population. I mean,
Sharia law.
It's what they know.
We're looking at you, Sharia law.
That's what they grew up with. That's what they know.
But what I'm saying is the way we do things, we don't just sit by and let people get bullied.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's the question of should we? Is it any of our business? No, we don't tend to let countries just get bullied like that.
If you're killing 100,000 of your citizens, we're going to come in and intervene. Unless,
and that was our whole excuse for the Syria thing with Assad, because they said he was using chemical weapons on his people, and that wasn't even the case. But that's why we had to intervene, because he was using chemical weapons on his people and shit. And that was they found that come from the rebels that we armed. That's who used the chemical weapons.
Well, again, like I was saying in the break, we were having a nice discussion about the difference between people having a problem with the government and the people who are actually in the government.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I got a problem with the politicians is who I got a problem with.
Right.
The idea of government's okay, that's fine. But the people that are in ours suck.
Those backroom people saying hit the button or not hit the button.
Yeah. That's just like there at 9/11, Cheney, he was quoted on saying, does the order still stand? Yes, unless you've heard anything to the contrary. 30 seconds later, Pentagon was hit.
Anyway, invasion, what's it look like?
If we have an invasion, we have, somebody coming over from a foreign country onto our shores, it's going to be rough. But, when you're talking about, they have 2 entrances, or 3 really, by sea and coming in from Canada or Mexico.
There's a 4th. Tunnels.
No.
Through the hollow earth.
Agartha, huh?
I guess that's a theory. I've heard that.
Hashtag
but
hollow earth.
as we all know, you're not invading mainland America unless we're in some sort of a civil war.
Who was it? It was Stalin.
Yeah. Stalin said that. You cannot invade mainland America. It's impossible because there would be a rifle behind every tree. And there's something, I don't know the exact number, but it's like 180 million armed Americans that the government knows about. You know what I'm saying? And most of those people, if they're gun enthusiasts, Second Amendment people, they have They don't just have one little handgun, you know.
I know people that has never owned a
cabinets.
gun before in their life
I've owned
and
a
went out
gun.
and got a gun recently.
Right,
you
yeah.
know?
That's another thing we talked about before, whether this whole gun grab gig is just like a thing to boost gun sales.
It's
because
Winchester.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. So every time Obama gets on the TV and talks about, we need stricter gun measures, people go out and fucking 500% rise in sales in Remington.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. So I don't know. That's just one theory to it.
But an invasion. I mean, how many refugees are we bringing in? Okay.
Oh, that's fucking interesting, man.
Now let's just say 3% of those were coming here as sleeper cell. Okay.
3% is a huge number.
That is a lot.
Okay,
that's
but
3 out of every 100.
we're just theorizing. Let's just say
They've got an army here.
Yeah, fair enough. If that's right, they have an army.
But who's to say they don't?
Well, I mean, nobody.
Let's just say 3%. And that's to me that's a small number.
What if there's Santa Claus has got an army of elves? I mean,
Well,
this is the hell of a speculation.
Right, but
if there's a small percentage of them, let's not put a number on it. If there's a small percentage
fair
of them
enough.
coming over here that have their only intent is to put the black flag on our White House,
The ISIS flag, you mean?
we are bringing them here. That is invasion on our own. We are willingly telling the home invader, "Hey, come on in, buddy."
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I didn't
even
know
gotta
he was
knock.
going to rob my
Yeah,
house.
To think that you gotta actually think that it's possible that they'll somehow fly that flag on their White House. Do you think that that we're letting them in?
It's not a
3 out of 100 is enough.
If we let our guard down too much, that's not improbable.
No, it's
the Indians let their guard down.
Yeah, I mean,
the Indians were like ragtag bunches of tribes.
Right. Well, what were we? We weren't much more. We just
the
had a
fuck
couple.
We had
back
rifles.
then.
We were
weren't much
technologically
more.
advanced.
We're talking about right now.
What I'm saying is that's an example. The Indians let their guard
An
down.
example that doesn't make a goddamn bit of
yeah.
How does it not?
If you think that
They
if you
didn't
think
have like police. They
if you
didn't
think
have,
the Islamic State, okay, you think the Islamic State does not have the United States in a target
I didn't say that.
as for wanting to invade, and a good way of doing that is to send men and women and children of drone strikes.
What's your definition of invasion here? Because I think we're on the wrong page here.
I'm not talking about, hey, we officially are declaring war and we're coming over there.
When
Right.
would you say
This
they have
is covert.
successfully invaded? What is your
Covert.
definition then of successful invasion? That's what I want to know.
I would say any attempt at occupying land in mainland America. Any attempt at holding an area here on our soil in
You think
mainland
that-
America.
you
That would be
think
an attempted
3 out of 100 of
invasion.
any amount they bring is going to be enough.
It
If
could
the
be.
amount that they brings 10 million, then yeah, that might be.
Let's
enough.
just say
Other than taking over like a fucking McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? That's as far as it's getting. In mainland America, you said it yourself. There's so
Mainland
many
America.
guns. There's no fucking way.
they can come from the coast. That the quote by Stalin was meant you can't come in on ships.
That's what was
because as
happening.
you're coming in on ships, there'll be a gun behind every tree.
Did you see the?
But if we invite them in, not knowing that, okay, this woman and this child, their uncle was a casualty in a drone strike.
And they're pissed about it.
They're pissed about it, and they're not going to live that down.
I was going to even take it one step further. It doesn't even have to be right now. You could be accepting all these refugees into the country and getting them to make your soldiers for you.
Don't get me wrong.
They say they have their old lady and they
what
shit
you guys
out
are
6
talking about
kids
is changing
here.
what America was founded to be. You know what I mean?
Don't get me
That's
wrong.
everything that's happening in the news today. We're talking about a police state,
come
an
from-
occupied state. That's exactly what that's changing America. I mean,
One of my parents is actually an immigrant from, Cuba.
Sure.
And he has just recently became a United States citizen.
After the whole embargo thing hit?
Well, I mean, no, it was before that he planned on doing it. And, but after so long, and he's been here since the Freedom Flights.
When were those? I don't know.
80s.
Sure. Okay.
So basically the point is I'm not against, I have nothing against, actually I'm for immigration into this country.
I mean, that's what this country's founded on, is immigration. We're all immigrants.
I'm saying that we ought to be smart and, yeah, we need to offer aid, but to actually bring these people that we don't know into our country is leaving it open for the possibility of an internal combustion.
So what you're saying is you want it to be
Fair
just
enough.
like it was in the 80s with the Cuban, was it Cuba, where like in Scarface, the movie where they had all the Miami.
Yeah,
That's the exact
all
same
Well, they
thing, but
released
no.
all their criminals, and that's exactly.
So you want to do that with the
essentially
series
what
coming
he's
in?
talking
Just
about.
have big, like,
No, I'm
fenced-in cities?
I'm saying
Until you can find a way to properly
Process
check. And
them.
I'm not
So
saying that. I'm
we don't
just
know.
getting what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. Until you find a way to properly check these people's backgrounds, you don't know who's coming in. You don't know what ties they have. You don't know what allegiances they hold.
they don't
mean,
have
it's fair.
fingerprint machines over there. When this guy gets released for
If this
doing
guy
a
killed
bombing,
10 people and made
we
a
don't
bomb-
know that.
Yeah,
These are-
we don't
you're
have any
talking
idea.
about living life in fear instead of living life boldly.
Well,
Isn't that how America wants us to live life, though? Isn't that how the government?
Objection,
they-
speculation.
it's
The
fair
government-
enough. I'm just saying.
See, there you go again, saying it's the government wants you to do it. Is it the people in the government or the government itself? Because I believe our government, in ideal, is benevolent. You know what I mean?
In ideal,
In
is,
ideal.
ideal,
So
yeah,
don't
it's a
say
good
it's the government,
idea.
Say it's the people who are running the government. That's
Okay,
the
the
problem I have.
asshole politicians that
There
run the
you go.
government. Okay, that was your whole point. Was
That
just
was my whole point.
okay.
I don't know. I just
on an internal invasion, that's how it could happen.
Just think about it. That would be so crazy though. Like
You
even
just
if it
bring in
took 20 years from
200,000
now.
women that their brothers and uncles and have been killed in drone strikes, regardless of terrorism.
Here's one for your numbers.
They're upset, and if it's possible, let's just say it's full blown possible. Let's say all of them. Then what? We just brought in 200,000.
Here's one for your numbers. Now you bring in 18 and 20-year-olds. 10,000 refugees, 5,000 men, 5,000 women. That's 5,000 couples. Okay, each one of these women have 5 babies, and they're all dedicated to the cause.
Dedicated to Surreal law or
Dedicated
whatever they
to
may
the cause.
be.
Now you've got 5,000
you
couples
guys
that.
sound like you're fucking super scared about a handful of people. Possibly.
We're talking about invasion on our show. What
Yeah,
are you,
but-
I mean, that's the whole premise
And I'm
of
talking
what
about
we're
it, too.
talking about.
You sound so afraid of this handful
I'm
of
ru-
people that we might have wronged.
I'm entertaining thoughts, man.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
entertaining
You sound
thoughts.
scared.
It's something to worry about.
What'd you say?
What's the matter?
Calling me
McFly?
scared, boy?
Chicken.
Hello,
I
butthead.
ain't scared of no damn refugee, I promise.
right.
I got me a rifle and a shotgun.
Let's
I ain't
just agree
fucking
to
around
disagree
here.
on this then.
All right. I got NASCAR to go. I'll see Dale Earnhardt shit.
But civil war in this country ultimately could lead to World War III. Is that's the
Well,
base?
that was the premise of the movies. Or do you remember Escape from L.A.?
Yeah,
So,
Russell.
Russell
do you remember what was
or
going
Kurt
on? Why they
Russell.
why they had that God code, the 666, to wipe everything out, and what they were going to use it for? Why the president wanted it?
I believe it was to send them back in the stone. No, I don't know why the president wanted it, but the quote was to send everyone back to the
Because
Stone
there
Age.
was Chinese and Cuban invasion forces right off the coast, and he was saying, if you don't remove your invasion forces, we're going to send you back to the Stone Age.
Really? I didn't. I
Hey,
don't remember
let me
that
watch
part
that
of that
movie.
movie.
You
No.
know,
Watch.
this is awesome because I just realized something here. I'm not really big on, like I said, we talked in the car. I'm not big on on movies and watching TV. That was never a pastime for me. I never spent my time really just
Great
doing
theories
this.
come out of
Okay,
movies, man.
But have you ever realized that a lot of times, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's fake because of it's just like that movie or just like that TV show."
Oh, it's a-
I noticed watching my kids' television, and it kind of goes back into the alien thing. It's been thrown into them and brainwashed you that, it's a cartoon, it's a movie, it's fake, it's not real, and I think that's part of the
Conditioning.
plan.
Propaganda and
It's
conditioning, yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
can-
mental conditioning. Kind of like whenever you see Pepsi turn like this on everybody, on all the judges at
Here I am,
American
like,
Idol.
Skeptical asshole
yeah,
again.
but none of them like Pepsi.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's not the government. It's any way that somebody can make $1 out of it.
propaganda.
Right. It's
Not so much for fear, but just for
Okay.
monetary gain.
And if the government is making $1 off of it,
I don't
then
know
their
what my
whole
favorite
it ain't the
soda
government.
is.
It's the people in the government who take the kickbacks, who are paid by the companies.
it's not the concept, it's the people running the
Exactly.
idea. I get that. Yeah, no, I agree fully.
See,
Sorry.
I'm taking it back. It ain't the government. It's the people in
No,
the government.
I believe it. Our system is set up ideally to be functional and the best, and it is. Unfortunately, I think we've set it up in a way that the wrong people, in a way That's why that's appealing for the Trump voters out there. You know, this guy doesn't have a law degree, has never went. You know, doesn't know shit about laws or functioning in government, and I think that's appealing. Just for the simple fact that the people that we've trusted to do that job
have betrayed us.
We feel let down by.
Let down?
You know?
Yeah. Betrayed?
Well, those are just like your opinions, man. So
Yeah,
Right.
no.
And that's all it is.
It's all opinion.
I disagree. I personally think Trump's a maniac, and I fear for the safety of us all if he is elected.
Oh, I agree. Definitely. I agree.
But
Okay,
you would
so-
would you vote for him ever? Now, don't answer that question. I
You
don't
know,
have
I-
the right to answer that.
I
ask that
want
question.
Yeah,
I
you
want
don't
the
have the
people
right
to
to ask
take
that.
I want us people to take back this country.
That's a fair
so-
enough statement. Whatever that means, that's a fair enough statement.
Okay, so here's the scenario. After World War III, say all the people in our government, and our government, therefore, is not functioning anymore because we've had our
Great
asses
seg.
kicked.
Great seg. And all the other asses have been kicked.
All the other asses
At
have
least
been
to
kicked.
the point where they don't care about what's going on in mainland America.
Fair enough.
Or have
and it's,
they?
And it's time to rebuild.
Who's
How
the
do I-
winners?
Brian says, "How do I feel about Hillary? She's a crooked bitch too. Don't get me wrong. I don't like any of these bastards that we have this year.
Hillary Everett.
We'll catch up with this in a second. Hillary's a good name for her. I don't trust any of these bastards, and vote no on 15 is basically how I feel about this election. That's a little revenge on
Sheepdogging.
You can vote. Everybody
Some
can vote for
bitches.
Brian. You can write my vote in.
There you go. Right,
I don't
Brian
think I meet
Corzine
the
in
age
for president.
requirements, but
No,
we
anyway,
can change
back-
that.
So say there's no governments that gives a shit about what's really going on. What does the new government look like? Is that your question?
Yeah. So, I mean, no, we've got to do something is what I'm getting at. So everyone's had their asses kicked. Say we'll just take on America
Like, have
standpoint.
you ever seen the movie The Postman
I have.
with Kevin Costner? And there was basically just towns now that have showed up. You know what I mean? There's settlements that people are banding
Outposts.
together for safety.
Yeah.
Safety in numbers.
That's it.
There was nothing more official than that, except Kevin Costner was trying to bandy across there and say he's official from the new United States government, and he's delivering the mail. There was no U.S. government apparently, but what does it look like? Does it start with little things like that, then they become allies and form a government out of that?
Well, sure.
You know,
yeah,
I imagine it would-
history repeats itself.
I would imagine it would act
Yeah.
it would happen just like it did in colonial America. I mean,
even well
out of
before that.
necessity. You know what I'm
Think
saying?
back to
You form a
Mesopotamia.
government out of necessity is
Now.
what you have to do. You don't do it because you want controlled or to control. You form a government out of necessity because you don't like the way things were or how they're going to be or how they're going. You see things going. So, overthrow this government, form your own, out of necessity, out of need.
See, I don't.
And
for
if
the
you're
most part,
talking nuclear fallout throughout the world, that's saying that there's going to actually be people here to form a government.
oh, that's fair. Nuclear
Yeah.
is not the best, or biological for that matter.
You know.
Not the best scenario to base a societal rebuild
But
on.
maybe it is. Maybe it's been 100, 150 years since the Great War. It's basically, at this point, there's been no real
The
written
TV
history.
show The 100.
Yeah, kind of like that. But there was written history in that they were up above the planet. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, say we didn't have an arc to escape to above the planet. 150 years goes by with very little recorded history. It's going to be the myth of the Great War.
That's
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
use.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
It'll
plug the
almost
show
be
real quick.
Bible-ish
but
even.
Exactly,
Damn
dude.
it, man.
I gotta
And
I plug the show real quick. If you guys go back a couple of weeks, you guys did a story on your Georgia Guidestones.
Oh, yes, that
And
was a-
that's
I
kinda-
love that show. That
That's
was a good
kind
one.
of like what that is for.
Yeah,
if
that's true.
you fucking lose everything in the world, I'm talking history.
I don't think we hit on that in George
everything.
Guidestones, that what
Man,
if World War III
tho-
happens? And
that
what
is the
that's for.
Swiss Army
That's a
knife.
rebuild,
For,
yeah, that's a guide.
for a rebuild of civilization. Here's where this is what time it is. This is what day it is. This is what language is.
Yeah, basically you can start over,
Right.
And
And-
what you need.
Is that scary that that's put there in almost place for if we have a nuclear fallout and we have to wait a couple
I mean,
hundred years?
That's one good school of thought on that.
Oh man, I feel like I need a bunker. Can I borrow 20 grand?
Well, you haven't started digging already?
No, I need. I got to rent a backhoe.
Don't worry. I'm building a big enough one for the whole family.
Okay, I'm with it.
What's to stop somebody from digging around these underground bunkers and lighting propane fires all around and burning them out?
Well, that would be hell.
I mean,
Starting a fire
if
around
you're
your
in your
bunker, dig your
bunker,
bunker out.
a block underground,
And then just
I come
build
and get
fires
a
around a
crane
big
and a
metal
bobcat.
shipping
It's a
container?
question of resources spent versus resources gained. You know
Well,
what I mean? It takes a lot of work to dig out a bunker and light fires around it for what might be inside of it.
For what might, because you don't know.
But you know something's in
Unless
there.
you're just a fucking maniac.
Because it wouldn't
who likes
be
to let
locked.
people out of their
Yeah,
bunkers.
I mean, really, you got free time on your
maniac with
hands.
a
You
backhoe.
might as well do something.
You don't have to go to work Monday.
And fucking 700 gallons of diesel. You're coming out of that
Yeah,
bunker.
no shit.
I've got
Brian
nothing
said,
but
it's not like you got to work Monday.
That's messed up.
Oh, shit.
So let's hit a little more pop culture here. Favorite pop culture movies dealing with post-apocalypse, World War III.
I like Book of Eli, man.
Yeah, it was okay.
I do. I really
you know my
like
problem with that movie, though.
the Braille Bible.
Right.
Have you heard about his problem with the Book of Eli? He doesn't. He can't
I can't get
can't
past
like
that part.
the Book of Eli
I'm
because
an asshole.
Denzel Washington is blind, right? In the movie, you've seen Book
Right,
of Eli.
right, right.
Okay, so he carries around this Bible with him, and he's blind. At the end,
He's like fucking
you
Neo
learn he's
somehow.
blind. So so it's a Braille Bible. And somebody pointed out on a thread online that if
Sure
that
was
was an
Reddit.
actual Braille Bible, it would have been like 6 feet thick. He would have, you know what? He would have never been able to carry it
Right,
around
right.
because the Braille is X amount of tall. There's so many pages in the Bible. It would have been. They did the math. Okay?
I've got one quote on this, and that's just Hollywood,
Hit me
gentlemen.
with it.
It's
just
Hollywood,
Hollywood.
gentlemen.
That's Hollywood, gentlemen. Yeah,
You know,
right? That's Hollywood.
And you're exactly
good enough.
right.
Good enough.
You're exactly right, but I'm an anal fucker. Sometimes just can't get over little things.
Sometimes intelligence and knowledge of physics and stuff
yeah.
just can ruin movies.
You know,
for you.
this
It just-
is-
it ruins shit sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay, wait, that ain't gonna happen. Come on.
Yeah, totally. What else you got? Mad Max we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great one, dude. Like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is one of my all-time favorites. Tina Turner, who
Run
Bartertown.
Master Blaster run Bartertown.
When I picture
She says Master Blaster.
when I
He's like,
picture World
"Say
War III
louder."
or maybe a civil war in this country to kick off World War III, you know, I really honestly picture maybe Gotham. You know, just a town run a fucking muck and nobody there to stop it from happening. I mean, when
constant
Dude, it would be-
criminal element.
That's interesting. Say like all of infrastructure goes away, and you got a city that's not like a giant city, but maybe like Dallas. It's a good sized city.
That's huge.
It's a good sized city, but it's not like New York.
Okay.
Which would probably be bombed. So say the infrastructure's gone
Again.
and you've got this pretty fucking big city that can support a giant population, but no way to support a giant population. So you're going to have the turf wars. Can you imagine like people taking over these blocks versus?
Oh
that
yeah,
blocks?
roaming gangs.
You got your whole.
they have that
this
in inner
building.
city Chicago right now.
Oh, so that's what you think?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Yes, that's called Detroit.
Yeah. Yes, that's happening.
Shout
now.
out Chirac. Just
Chirac.
just saying.
That's fucking terrible because how many people get murdered there?
Dude,
Well, you know,
Chirac.
it's been coined the term.
I shouldn't
But I
laugh
mean,
at that.
seriously, anybody
brutal,
that
man.
doesn't know anything about that kind of lifestyle, or this is what we're looking at if we run into a civil war in this country, and you know, we don't have a government or another country invades. I mean, you're looking at very bad, very desperate.
Oh yeah,
times.
it's going to be rough. It's going to be real rough. Unless you can band together with a group or some sort of, I don't know, man. You almost have to have not a huge group, but a large enough group to protect yourself because
Which is a bummer because you know what happens after the apocalypse is you get the assholes who run everything by power.
exactly,
And it's not about what's right; it's about keeping your
Well,
power.
it's about
I
keeping
mean,
your power.
Is it that, or do you get the
It
people
is
that
that,
actually
yes.
have the good? I mean, when back in the day, I mean, look at the founding fathers.
Yeah, but chances are the people that are trying to do good after this huge societal breakdown are going to be few and far between, and the guys that it's all going to be what I can get, what I can do. You know what I mean? Who I can control.
It's the pirate
right.
lifestyle versus the lawful lifestyle.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Okay.
being a pirate over being a peon. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's basically that. What about Superman 4? Now that wasn't a World War III movie, but it was.
There's
like the
one part.
version of it, World War III, where he takes all the nukes,
Yep.
puts them in those big nets and spins them around and throws them.
Flings
into
them
the sun.
out into outer space. Oh, did he fling them in the sun? I thought they
Yeah,
just went in
no,
deep space. No, he flung them in the sun.
Somehow, I mean, and you can see it happen somehow. Like it's 8 light minutes away, but he flings them fast enough.
You can
where
watch
go,
it in real time.
There it goes. And
Boom.
forget the fact that even from outer space, the sun's just still pretty much like a pinprick. So
Damn the physics again,
you
ruining
can
movies for you.
somehow yeah, I hate that. Even as a kid, I was like, I have a problem with this. I'm 8 years old, but I have a problem with this. I've always been a kind of an asshole.
Oh man.
We talked about that's pretty much all the post-apocalyptic kind of World War III movies I know of.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, real
Dr.
quick though,
Strangelove.
where would you guys go?
What would we
What would you do? You wake up tomorrow,
What are my
Biggie.
priorities?
You wake
my
up
priorities
tomorrow.
are not start a whole new government or community. My
Right,
priorities
right.
are collect my family, create a safe habitat for my family, and a
Sustainable.
sustainable, safe habitat. I don't have any delusions that I'm going to start a town to start taking people in.
First things first. First things first. I'm getting my wife. I'm getting my kid. I'm getting everything that I can get I'm looking at a week. First off, as soon as shit hits the fan, I'm looking at the first week. I'm getting wife, kid. I'm taking everything that I can take for a week, and after that week, I'm gonna figure it out after that. But I've got to secure them.
You got to survive for that first.
I've got to
week,
secure them for that week. I've got to make sure we're secure. I'm taking my dog. I got a pit bull. He can maybe help protect. I don't know.
Worst
I'm a little
comes
bit
to
of a
worst,
pussy.
lunch.
He's not. So.
Worst
comes to worst, lunch. Hey man, fuck you, okay?
I'm
That's my
gathering the
dog,
friends.
man.
Gathering the
I'm gonna
friends,
stab you in the
gathering
pin
loved
with the
ones.
eye. Or,
Probably
stab
heading
you in the eye
to
with a pin.
the coast, a boat.
I'll put you
myself.
back to the water
That's where
for
I'm
sure.
going.
That's
Put you
the
back to the water.
Walking Dead.
You know, I think I'm going to walk. No, I'm not really big on TV or.
That's one way they were avoiding zombies. They went out on a yacht.
On a yacht,
like
yeah.
right after it happened. Of course, there were still zombies in the water. There's just so many dead people. If they get on the water, what do? They bobble.
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy.
But I feel like I've got a better understanding of what might take place for World War III, what might cause World War III.
Yeah.
Keep an
What
eye
might
out.
happen.
You know, keep an eye out.
If anything, I've learned a thing or two today, man.
You know what I'm thinking we ought to start doing? And I don't know if this happens to you. After every show, I always think about all the shit I wish I would have said.
Every time, because I listen to this every Sunday night, and I always think, I'm like,
Yeah. We should start our next shows off, the show after. Like, hey,
all right, look, we want to come back and talk to you about
The recap on last week. What else we wanted to say was.
Yeah. You'd almost have to have every subject, following the week before, though, for that to happen,
I mean, I'm willing to
properly.
do
I'm
that.
willing to do that.
They-
That's
they
gonna
do
get a little
that
hard,
on
though, tying
sitcom.
shit together. Yeah, right. This is not sitcom.
They do it on sitcom. Hey, this is what happened previous week.
hey, I've been thinking about getting us a laugh track anyway. I mean, we're funny enough.
Surreal Talk is filmed in front of a live studio audience. Yay!
Anyway, we're getting to that point again.
Yeah, exactly. You guys know what time it is when we start bullshitting like this.
Yeah.
Remember, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Surreal Talk. Find us on Twitter at Surreal Talk Show. You can also watch a live video recording of every single show on YouTube. Just search Surreal Talk. And we have, you could go to www.youtube.com/Surreal Talk Podcast. That's right. I'll get that one right. We just got to update our paper here. And we do have our own custom URL. So, yeah, that's the one there. And remember, just give it a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or just wherever you get your podcast. Hell, you can give us a review on our Facebook page. We've got a few of those already. And I'm loving
those iTunes ones though, man.
You like the iTunes review? Well, it gives guys, they get a couple cheap shots in with it too.
here's
So.
my
You get your
thought.
10-minute break at work in the bathroom.
The
You can lace
majority of our
this.
subscribers are from iTunes, and that's where most people will see the description.
Right. Well,
saying.
like you were saying earlier, if you give us a good, honest review, it doesn't let people think like, these guys got 55-star reviews. It's like, no, they got 10 5-star reviews, a 4-star, and a couple 2 stars.
There's
We've got some ones.
I don't know.
But
It'll happen.
it kind of lets you know, there it is. That's what we are. So always remember to, wait a minute. I'm forgetting something. Email us, info@surrealtalk.com.
Oh, we get some good emails too.
Podcast.com.
Keep your
Yeah.
emails coming.
Yeah, the emails are great. We love those. We try to answer one and address it on every show. So
Try out something new.
even if you just want to hear your name on the radio, then just like email us and tell us
make
we
sure you
suck, and we'll be
specifically
like, yeah, please add my name into this. You guys suck dick. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you guys are
specifically say you
terrible.
want your name said if that's the case.
But always remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share.
What I was going to say was email us your suggestions. I want to see how many emails we can get here. Blow up my email because it goes right to my email box.
And then goes right to mine after that.
Yeah, pretty much. So blow
So-
up our email. That'd be funny.
Well, this has been World War III with Eric, Everett, and Brian. And thanks for listening.
coming in, Brian.
Surreal
Thanks
Talk.
for having me,
Hey,
guys.
we appreciate it, Brian. Thank you. You've
Glad
been
to
a
be back
great
sometime.
guest host. LineUpMedia.fm production. Peace. Gosh, that was fun. So much fun.